Alright. This is going to be the first ride on the KTM Super Duke. And just quickly give you a quick visual of it first. I just picked this bike up from the dealership. It's my latest addition to my garage. I've got a bunch of bikes, but this is going to be my third naked. I love naked motorcycles. The first thing you notice about this is it's got a fobless entry, keyless entry, ready to race. And that's unique, you know, you just leave the keys in your pocket and just ride. Press the button and you ride. So this is a unique feature that's not available on my Ducati, and I think that's pretty cool. It's my first bike that I've ever owned with a fobless entry. And yeah, you get on, and the first thing you notice about this bike is the pull, right? The amount of torque you get, and so much pull available. It's got a 1300cc V-twin engine, and unlike the Street Fighter and my MT-09, which are the other two nakeds that I have, you got to really rev those engines up to get power, right? And pull. But this one, low revs, plenty of pull. About 90% of the torque is available around 3000 revs, which makes the riding very enjoyable and very relaxing. I got this with everything, the tech pack, got everything turned on, so I got cruise control. The only thing I wish KTM did was if they had heated seats. I think that's an option which I need to investigate. It comes in really handy in cold winter days like this. But anyway, sitting in this position, I'm about 6'2", so I got plenty of room, plenty of space here in the cockpit. The seating position is much higher than my Street Fighter, the Ducati. The Ducati, you sit more into the bike. This one you sit really on top of the bike, right? Really on top of the bike. And it's a very quiet bike. You don't hear the exhaust like you hear on the Ducati. With the Ducati Desmo engine, man, you really hear it. You can really feel it. This one you can feel it, but you can't really hear it. So I think I can get that fixed by adding an exhaust, right? Slip-on exhaust or aftermarket exhaust, which is going to be one of my projects on this bike. And the other thing you immediately notice about this bike is the suspension, right? This thing's got the fully automated suspension, and it feels like a cloud. You're riding on a cloud. It's so balanced, so smooth. The bumps really aren't as bad as the Ducati and the MT-09. This is so stable, and I'm really enjoying the electronic suspension. First bike I've ever owned with an electronic suspension. I think I would highly recommend it going forward for any motorcycles. And sitting position wise, very comfortable. And then the other thing about this bike is, man, the front end feel is so light. You know, a lot of people think this is a top heavy bike. No, this is not a top heavy bike. The front end of this feels much lighter than my Ducati. Ducati feels like a race bike, right? You point, it goes. This one is very light, very, very agile, right? And the center of gravity on this bike is really right in the middle, and I think it's quite low. It's really in the middle. When you get it riding, you feel like it's pretty stable bike, and it's just amazing. And it's an amazing ride. It's an incredible experience riding this bike. The pull, the power you get at such low revs. There's an engine service light flashing right now. That's because I got to get the 600 mile service on. I've only got 150 miles when it comes, so the KTM will turn it off after the first service. You notice on the dash, right? So anyway, it's an amazing ride. This is an amazing ride. This is the ride that I typically do here. It's a nice Highway 4. I love Highway 4 here in the Bay Area. And the other thing about this bike compared to the Ducati is the rear view visibility. At least the mirrors on this are quite very useful. You get a full 360 degree of what's coming the back, and I think that's a great safety feature. Unlike the Ducati, the mirrors are absolutely useless. You can't see anything, so you always have to turn your shoulders every time you ride the Ducati. Now, I think one thing that Ducati does better than this one is the uh, the wind protection. You know, they're both naked bikes, but I think that Ducati does a better job with the wind protection. You don't feel as much wind on your chest compared to this one. And I think that's probably because the Ducati has those wings, right? So those four wings on the Ducati apparently do something with the airflows and keep most of the air off your chest, which is what I like about the Ducati. This one, you feel a lot of it on your chest. On a cold winter day, you feel it like today, you feel the kind of the coldness. But man, I tell you, when the summer comes around, this thing's going to be a beast ride where I'm not going to mind that warm air on my body in summer. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. The other cool thing about this bike is that it has a fuel tank, fuel tank. The other Ducati does not have it, which is quite surprising. On my Ducati 2022 version, there's no fuel gauge. This one has a fuel gauge, which is really helpful. And yeah, man, this thing feels so light. I mean, this thing is about 20 pounds more heavier than the Ducati. The Ducati is like a sports bike, super weight. This one feels pretty light, for very agile, very light as well once you get it going. And I like the grips on this. The grips on this are more comfortable than the out-of-the-box Ducati grips. These are like kind of thick. I got big hands, so this is more thicker grips. Ducati grips are so thin, so skinny, right? I had to get the comfort grips on it, which now has made the job better on the Ducati. Yeah, man, what an amazing bike this is. And the other thing I like about this bike is the tank here. Like, if you look at the tank, it's got this aluminium brush tank, which didn't exist, which comes on really expensive bikes. If you get the Ducati V4R, that's got a aluminium tank, and some of the more expensive bikes, but you're gonna have to spend 30,000-40,000 and get the kind of the aluminium tank. This one comes at around 21, and I think this bike overall is better value than the Ducati Street Fighter. It's more usable than the Street Fighter. Street Fighter is a usable bike with its upright position, but this one's more usable, and I think it's better value for money because it's 21k out the box. You get everything. Ducati has spent 22k, and you don't even get electronic suspension. If you want electronic suspension, you're gonna have to fork about 24-25k here in the US. So about 3-4 grand more expensive than this. So with this bike, you're getting more for less, right? And then the other cool thing I like about this bike is the 1.3 liter engine, right? It's got a 1300cc. The Ducati has 1100cc. So for me, the more cc's you have, the better. I mean, I like bikes with bigger engines. Bigger is better here in USA, where, you know, I like power, I like the torque, and bigger is better. And this one's got the 1300cc. I never knew it was this big. So that was one of the key things that I decided to get. And then I overall think that, you know, this is a hyper bike, naked bike. I think naked bikes are the best bikes you can get. Yes, wind protection is less, but you get a full, you know, better visibility of the road. It's a better riding experience, and there's less wind turbulence on your head, because with full fairing bikes and, you know, adventure bikes, there's a lot of wind turbulence and noise in the helmet. But this one is pretty quiet because all you're hearing is natural airflow. And so that's what I like about naked bikes, right? They're just amazing. I'm heading to the dealership here to pick up a part. I ordered a stand for this bike, a rear stand, so I can keep, you know, the rear chain lubricated and the wheels clean. I did that same thing for the Ducati as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then also any maintenance, any brake pad changes, I can use that rear stand. Yeah, man, what an amazing ride. What a great bike. But the other bike that I did consider was, you know, the KTM Adventure, the Super Duke, the Super Adventure, right? I did consider that because that was the same price as this. But then I decided to get this one because I don't like the top heaviness of adventure bikes, and I think adventure bikes don't look as pretty as good looking as this one. This one looks really, really sexy. I think sports bikes and naked bikes look more sexier and prettier than more good looking than adventure bikes. And then the other thing I don't like about the adventure bikes is the top heaviness. And now they did do a pretty good job on the Super Adventure 1290, because they made the gas tanks lower. Like they put them lower on the sides, kind of like the 890s, the KTM. But it doesn't look good. I think it looks pretty ugly. It looks fat, right? This one does not look fat. This one looks sharp. Yeah, so at higher speeds you really can't hear the engine on this. You can feel the vibrations of the V-twin, the pulsing power of the V-twin, but you can't really hear it. Like the Ducati, you can hear that Desmo engine, 6,000, 5,000, 6,000, 60 miles, 70,000, 70 miles an hour, 80. You can really hear that Desmo engine whine and crank, like make a sound. This one you really can't hear the engine. I think I'm gonna fix that with putting an aftermarket exhaust on it. Yeah, man. So tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys would do if you had the choice to own a KTM Super Duke or Ducati? Which one would you buy? For me, I own them both, and I wouldn't pick one over the other. I think I like them both. But which one would you choose if you just had to choose one? Which one would you choose? Let me know your thoughts. And then I'm gonna just give you some other commentary here. It's bloody cold, man. It's freaking cold today here. It's like 48 degrees, and you really feel it. I just can't wait till the summer comes around where I can ride this bike in summer. It's gonna be so comfortable. So, oh yeah, the other thing I just want to point out, the seat on this is very comfortable. Like most seats on motorcycles suck. My Ducati Street Fighter has the best, most comfortable seat. This one is not as comfortable as the Ducati Street Fighter seat, but it's pretty comfortable. I think it's pretty nicely padded. It's comfortable. I don't feel pain. But the Street Fighter seat is just amazing, comfort-wise. And that's the thing people most don't appreciate about naked bikes is these are the most comfortable bikes, the most natural bikes to ride and get the full motorcycle effect, right, is these naked bikes. I think this is the way to go. Naked bikes is the way to go. Okay, very close here to the dealership. Yeah, let's look at I think the user interface. I mean, this has got a bigger screen than the Ducati, the TFT on this, but I think the usability, the ease of use on the Ducati TFT and the menu system is much easier than this one. This one's kind of a bit more complicated. I think over time I'll get used to it, but the Ducati Street Fighter has better UI user interface, right? They did a better job on that one compared to this one. So anyway, I'm here at the dealership. This is where I bought the bike from. I bought two bikes off these guys. So yeah, this is dealership. So I'm gonna pick up some parts, look at some of the new bikes, and ask them a question that I had to one of on my warranties. Gotta do some follow-up on that. But anyway, here are all the bikes here. So let's just park right here and then turn off the bike. And the way you turn it off, you just press that button and it's off, and the key's in your thing, and just walk off. So I like that you don't have to hassle around pulling the key out. So here's the bike in its full glory. Looks amazing, huh? Looks absolutely amazing. Just the way, look at this badass bike. I love that exhaust system. I like this. I wasn't really a fan of orange, but it's kind of grown on me. I think it looks good. It looks different. I think combined with the aluminium tank, it looks just amazing. And I'm glad I've got different wheels, because my Ducati wheels are black, and so it's good to have different colored wheels, and they really pop. And I think it's also a good safety feature, right? Having a bright bike on the road, you get noticed, and it's a good safety feature. And I think the combination of this color really good. This is the add-on I did. I put on the KTM windshield, paid about $90 for that. I don't think it does anything better to the ride. It doesn't stop the wind, so I think you're better off just leaving that off, not buying that. Don't waste your money, just keep it. It's got similar brakes to my Ducati, the Brembos, but I think they might be a little bit bigger on the Ducati. But anyway, that's all I wanted to bring today. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are, and we'll catch up on the next riding video. Cheers.